Hello YouTube friends, my name is Misha Ruby. I am a senior UX front-end engineer based in the Bay Area, and this is another episode of Diaries, a series where I basically just show you glimpses of my workday and a little bit of my life here and there. Today is November 8th, 2023. It's the first day of the sprint, and in this sprint I'm working on two components. The first one is accordion and the second one is time log. We want to give the same functionalities of an accordion where it's able to have a header and a content and then a expand and collapse sort of thing. But we want it to be very flexible for the consumer, so like the other teams using our component to be able to decide which part of the headers are clickable to do the expand and collapse, how does that look, and things like that. Yeah, and then in between of me coding, I'll have some meetings with design. I have one coming up in a few minutes. Actually, we're going to be talking about the locked component concept, and then after that, I'm gonna take my lunch, and then I have one-on-one with one of my mentees, and then I have the rest of the day just to code and stuff like that. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. Hope you enjoy. That one, how will that lock? Is it going to do the flip from the bookmark icon to the locked icon, similar to the demo? I think it's the one above. Yeah. So because all of these components have a pretty different approach to how their locked state looks like, we will need to create a variant for each of these. It could be that some components have a similar approach to the variant, but it's going to be separate. Hello, it's 5:38 and it's already extremely dark out there. I'm about to end my day, but before I do that, I wanted to check in with you and let you know about what I got up to. So in the coding, I focused primarily on accordion. Again, the goal was to be able to provide all of the functionalities of expand and collapse and things like that without having to worry about without having to deal with the stylings that come with our default accordion. So I did a bulk of the work for that. My brain is slowing down because I kind of am getting off the adrenaline. I'm coming down from the adrenaline of like rapid firing some strategies on accordion. I have like 4 stashes of like other approaches that I tried. There is still this question about accessibility. I'm having a hard time doing it automatically because the trigger now is no longer, it's not really part of the component anymore. So yeah, I have to figure out a different way to enable the accessibility. But my idea is that since the consumer is defining their user interface and they're defining the toggles and things like that, then they could just add these attributes. The last thing I have to do before I can officially close out this workday is to fill out my success log in my Hobonichi. On the left side here, with the timeline and with the margins, I'm using this as my success log, and here is where I do some planning. So I use the star to indicate meetings, and then I use a checkbox to indicate tasks, and then I check it off when it's done. And yeah, and then at the bottom here I use for notes. Usually I use these notes section for if I'm about to switch tasks, so that I don't forget what what I was thinking about. So for example, if I'm coding and then I notice that I have a meeting in 10 minutes, then I'm starting to context switch. So before I completely lose the context of what I'm doing, I jot down notes for myself so that when I pick my work back up again, I am not lost. Happens for meetings, also happens for my lunch breaks and things like that. Yeah, this has been really handy for me. I don't really use the weekly spreads. I don't know what to use it for. I used to do weekly planning, but my days vary so much now that I really do need to plan on a daily basis. And yeah, I'm gonna fill this out, gonna close out my day, and I will see you tomorrow. Hello, good morning. It's November 13th, Monday. It is technically the third working day of the sprint because we had Friday off, but it's day 4, like by the calendar. So yeah, last Thursday, I don't know if this happens to anybody else, but when there is a long weekend coming up, the day before the long weekend is always super busy with meetings. But I guess it might be because people also take the Monday off, so that they have a nice long 4-day weekend. That's kind of smart. Maybe I should start doing that too. But yeah, so I didn't get to do a lot of coding on Thursday, but I did get to do a lot of thinking on Thursday. So I have some plans that I want to try out in coding today. And if it doesn't work out, then I'm going to send out an SOS to my team later this afternoon, because I feel like I'm overlooking something super simple. Because my whole problem is that I need to set an attribute in the content child of a parent component. And if you don't know front-end engineering, think of like a magic milk tea. Okay, think of like a magic milk tea boba, right? Like the milk tea with the boba at the bottom with the straw. And then think of that as like the component. And think of the milk tea inside as the content child. And the boba are the attributes. Milk tea is already made, right? It has certain qualities already. But I want to be able to put in coffee jelly into the milk tea through a straw that connects it to the parent, and replace I don't know if this analogy makes sense, but this is the best one I can come up with, and replace the boba, and somehow through some sort of magic turn it into coffee jelly through the straw, because the straw is the thing that connects it to the parents. But yeah, I'm having a hard time figuring out how to make that magical straw. Yeah, I'm saving brain cells for my coding session later. Is it obvious? Puppy. Hi, sweet girl. Hi, sweet girl. Oh, she's falling. She's falling. Belly exposed. Aww. I agree. So I think that I agree. I don't think that this is necessarily select. It seems like it's searching for something, and then because it's not able to find it, it does an action. Yeah, so like exhaust the options that we have first. And if this is really not the way that we want to do it, then let's see how we can combine the existing ones and build on top. It works. Okay, I'm gonna try to zoom you into what I'm doing. Here, let's take a look at this. Okay, so, this is the expansion panel. So this is the accordion. This is one set of an accordion. This is another accordion inside a card. The thing that I needed to do was basically make sure that this new custom panel header has all of the workings of our current accordion. So it's able to, so right now it's expanded by default. So I can collapse and expand, and you can see there are things that are changing on the DOM. Basically here, I really needed to be able to tie in this header. So this button here, which is the new control of the entire panel, I needed this to be able to point towards, so this area controls expansion panel 13, this ID, I needed that detected automatically, and this ID refers to this element right here, which is the entire accordion. So this is working well, so that's tied together. And then I'll just show you this one. Okay. Sorry, I'm really slow. I'm trying to like look through my screen using my phone right now. But yeah, so here you see this is a panel ID 14, and then this button will then have area controls, expansion panel 14. And then it also has this area expanded attribute to dictate whether this thing is expanded, and it switches to false when it's no longer visible. Ta-da! Yeah, I think I filmed my stand-up earlier, and in that stand-up I was talking about how I was probably overlooking something simple or like complicating something that was simple, and I was completely right. I was just staring at accordion for way too long that I wasn't, like, I kept overlooking the thing that was simple. Like, I was already there, like the concepts was there, but I wasn't executing it properly, and it's so silly, right? But like, kind of going back to the milk tea analogy. So like, imagine this is the milk tea and this is the straw that I was trying to build. Basically there is like a hole that the straw goes into, but I kept trying to like put it somewhere else. That's the best I can do for the analogy. But so that's done. So I'm just going to clean up the styles now and then go ahead and submit a PR. I'm probably going to stop coding for the rest of the day here. It's about 3:15-ish. I have a 3:30 meeting that goes until 4:30, and that's basically the end of my day. So I'm just going to do my best to clean this up, put it up for a PR, and that'll be it for the coding today. And then tomorrow I'm going to focus my efforts on time log, which should be, I don't know, the fact that I figured out accordion makes me more makes me think that I can get farther along in my time log, which I think I was overthinking, but we'll see. Catch you tomorrow.